Hello BC. 2NA vinyl editions. It's been a couple weeks since my last one and picked up some pretty cool stuff for you to share with you guys. Quick note, contest reminder, the drawing will be this Sunday. So I need to get all the last responses in by Saturday. So again, contest, 50 subs contest will be drawn this Sunday. So anybody who wants to make a video needs to get to it soon. A couple of books I've been reading lately that I've finished. Saul Bellows' Herzog. This was another one on David Bowie's list of 100 favorite novels. This was fantastic. It was actually my first Saul Bellows novel. Reminded me a lot of Philip Roth, but I really liked it. William Faulkner's Intruder in the Dust. This is one of the Faulkners that I've had never read, and I really liked it. Even though it was later Faulkner, it was actually much more conventional than some of his earlier work. So I was kind of surprised at how conventional the plot was to be such late Faulkner. Really enjoyed it. Another one off Bowie's 100 favorite novels. Wonder Boys by Michael Chabon. This is great. This is always one of my favorite movies, and the novel is just as good. There was a lot of scenes in the book that weren't in the movie. Overall, I'll think of the movie. This may be a case where the movie is actually better than the novel, but it was still very, very good. And lastly, finished this yesterday, A Government of Wolves by John Whitehead. This is sort of about it says the emerging American police state. This is about all the surveillance that's going on, the NSA and all that. Yeah, it was not very well written. It was okay. I did like the stories on school children and how they're being indoctrinated and things like that was really, and just the crazy zero tolerance policies. That was the most intriguing part of the book. Overall, quick read, not very short, but probably couldn't recommend it. Now, to the vinyl. I just share books because I want this channel to be about all sorts of art, and books are a big part of my life too, just about as much as music. So anyway, some vinyl pickups. A lot of people have been showing these. I was so glad when my record store got them in. Boards of Canada, reissues on Warp. Music Has a Right to Children. This is the only one I've picked up so far. Definitely my favorite Boards of Canada album. I've seen a lot of people show these already, but just sound great. It's got the braille up there. Really, these are done really well. Gatefold there, really nice thick pressings. My favorite Boards of Canada album. It's good to see them getting the treatment that they deserve, because the originals of these will just cost you more than I can afford to pay. So it's cool. I'm going to try to pick up as many of these as I can while they're still out there. I don't know how limited this pressing is, but highly, highly recommended. Next, that's what I got playing in the background. LP from 2013, Disclosure, Settle. Disclosure is a European two-man electronic band, shades of techno and house. They're getting a lot of buzz sort of on the indie circuit, on Pitchfork and things like that. My record store finally got the LP version of this in. It's extremely thick. It's almost like a box set. It's just extremely well done. The cover is really nice. 180 gram vinyl, 33 RPM. Just really a nice set. And you've got some of the lyrics for the songs that do have lyrics. Really highly recommend this album. I love it. It's one of my favorite of the year for sure, and really some of my favorite packaging of the year. Again, just it's very rare that you see something this nice and thick. It's very similar to Shaking the Habitual by The Knife as far as the really spared nothing on the packaging. This has also been shown a lot. Roger Coleman, Nathan Morales, Sonic Mainliner have all shown this, and I had to get it in my record store. Actually finally got a copy in. I Am the Sinner. This is New Age music, private issue New Age music in America, 1950 to 1990. This is actually a used copy that my record store had. It's still in the shrink, and I guess someone had bought it and didn't like it and brought it back in. This is extremely well done, really nice booklet, and it's on triple clear vinyl. I managed to pick this up for $29.99 because it was used, but it's in pristine condition. You see the clear vinyl there. This is something that I was not familiar with, as far as I'm not this style of music, new age music. I'm not very familiar with but this is fantastic. This is so good, and this kind of embodies what I love about the vinyl community. I watch videos and I go and buy records that I normally would not buy. If I had not watched, Sonic Mainliner or Nathan or Roger show this, I would have just passed this over completely in the record store. And I'm so glad I didn't, because it's fantastic. It's so good. Highly, highly recommend this. And again, this is what the vinyl community is all about. Something that I wouldn't even think twice about passing over. And there's a lot more than meets the eye there. Got this at my used record store, the place I usually go for my used finds. This is a mammoth of an LP. I was so glad to finally get this. The Cure Disintegration. This is a reissue. This is the 2010 reissue. Got this used for $15, but it's in pristine shape. Gatefold, 180 gram vinyl. They did an excellent job on this repressing. The music is lush, warm, heavy. This is just, again, a mammoth of an album. I don't know if I think this is probably my favorite Cure album. It's between that and Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. It's 10 out of 10 for me. I love every song on this album. I love the feel and the mood, the lyrics, everything about it. The playing, the guitar playing is great, and the guitar tones, it's just perfect. It really is. So it's not something that you really see out in the wild too much. Even though it is a reissue, you don't see too many of these in the wild, so I've immediately picked that up. Glad to have that. This is an LP from last year that has been shown a lot in the BC, and every time I went to go buy this, they were either out of it, or when they did have it, there was something I just wanted just a little bit more, and I thought I was probably never going to own it just because. And there were times I would go to the record store specifically to get this album, and it was out, and it just seemed like I didn't even want to chance fate, because it just didn't seem like I was meant to have this LP. I had it on CD, and I loved it. And big fan of the band, but just never had it. And then my record store had a used copy still in the shrink wrap. I actually had like 5 of these, still in the shrink wrap, but they were still used. There was like a little something wrong with the shrink wrap. They had it for $9. Tame Impala, Lonerism. And this is such a cool background, back cover. I mean, that's a music lover's dream right there, to be in that room. That is so cool. Not going to say a lot about Tame Impala. They get a lot of love in the VC. This is definitely their best album. Psychedelic as hell. Love this guy. He's got a very, very bright future. They're the real deal, for sure. So glad that fate looked kindly on me that day at the record store. This is another band that I've been collecting recently. Mark, Dr. Deadwax, recommended this LP when we were talking about this band. King Crimson, In the Wake of Poseidon. This is their second LP after In the Court of the Crimson King and Before Lizards. This is great. I don't think this is an original. It may be. This is on Atlantic. I don't know if it's an original or not. I got it for $15. It could be. It's an Atlantic. It's in pristine condition. This is great. I like it just as much as In the Court of the Crimson King. I think it's just as good. So, a little bit more jazz influence, I think, on this one than the other one. I only listened to it one time so far. I'm going to put it back on the turntable, but it's just amazing musicianship. So, glad to have that in the prog collection. The rest is mostly jazz LPs and soul. Charlie Mingus, Tijuana Moods. This is a reissue on RCA. Nothing really going with the packaging. It's a great photo. It's very clear and sort of glossy, trying to keep the original feel, I believe. The vinyl itself is very thick, very thick. I don't know if it's quite 180 gram, but it definitely has that old vinyl feel to it. As far as the music goes, it sounds really good. I think they did a really good job for this, and this was new. I got this new for $12.99, so it's not going to break the bank either. So the music is great. I'm just I've been into Mingus for a while, but I'm sort of trying to start collecting his music, and it's guys like Mingus and Sun Ra, those people that have such a, especially in Sun Ra's case, such a massive discography. It's a bit intimidating to get into, but that's my first Mingus vinyl, and it's fantastic. Another great jazz LP, Ahmed Jamal, it's Free Flight. This is a live performance from the Monterey Jazz Festival in France. I believe this is an original on the Impulse, ABC Impulse. This is a stripped down band for Ahmed Jamal. It's just Ahmed Jamal, Jamil Suleiman on bass, and Frank Grant on drums. Just playing 4 songs. Got a great introduction by a French guy. It's like Ahmed Jamal, and they absolutely wear it out. It's a extremely tight band. This is from 1972. Ahmed Jamal is a beast, so anything I can get at his. Got this used at a really, really good price. Great live performance. Louis Armstrong. This is my first Louis Armstrong vinyl. Louis Armstrong is Hot 5. This is on Columbia. Sort of a compilation of his best stuff with the Hot 5s on Columbia. Really, really good. Trying to beef up my jazz collection. Get some pivotal pieces. This is not the most exciting jazz for me. I'd much prefer, more free jazz type stuff, but you gotta have your nuts and bolts if you want to be serious about collecting. And this is where it came from. It came from Louis Armstrong. Again, not my favorite jazz musician, but much respect to him, and I am trying to build a collection that has those nuts and bolts, has those Louis Armstrongs, those Duke Ellingtons, Count Basies, even though I'd much rather be listening to, I like it all, but I'd much rather be listening to, Coltrane, later Coltrane, something like that, but still getting it for those purposes. This, however, is an older jazz album that blows my mind. So much has been said about it, so I won't spend a lot of time, but the musicianship, the time changes are insane. Dave Brubeck, Timeout, Quartet, Timeout. This is incredible. I listened to this album a few years ago, and I don't think I was listening to it very closely, and didn't really pick up on all. I picked up on the time signatures, but didn't really think much of it. I recently went back and listened to this, and it absolutely blew my mind. I listened to it nonstop for 2 days, just in the car, at home. The time signatures. This, like Miles Davis' So What, it's a perfect example of music that has a crossover popular feel, but does not sacrifice any of the technical musicianship. It's still extremely challenging to seasoned musicians, but still has a popular appeal to it. It's very rare to do that. I think it's a great achievement. This is a fantastic LP. Found this in the used bin for $3. Plays perfect. I have no idea why it was that cheap, because there's really not even a lot of scuffs on it. A Springsteen album that I was always very fond of, that I just did not have in my collection for some reason. Nebraska. This is Bruce's, I want to say, 6th studio LP. Right after, right after the river, and it's great. I love this entire album. I've always loved it, just didn't have it, and I saw a good clean used copy there, and picked it up. This is on CBS, so classic LP, and then this shows that Bruce is really he's the real thing. At this point, if there were any doubters, post the river, this had to silence them, because this is the guy alone with a 4-track doing amazing music. So I really want to hear Electric Nebraska. I know everyone says The Ride Nebraska came out. I'm sure it did, but I still want to hear it. Got 3 more. Soul LP. I've seen this a lot in the VC. Roberta Flack, Quiet Fire. Only listened to about half this so far. I've got a lot of Roberta. I love, her on First Time I Ever Saw Your Face and a lot of her stuff like that. This has got A Bridge Over Troubled Water, a couple covers. Just a great cover though. That's such an awesome cover, and what a powerhouse voice. Got this in the used bin for $3. Plays fine. So this is on Atlantic. Roberta Flack. Another one from the used bin, also on Atlantic, also soul record. Aretha Franklin, Young, Gifted, and Black. This is from 1972. I believe this has Dr. John on some piano. Haven't got a chance to listen to this yet, or listen to the first few songs. Really dug it. Anytime you can find a really cheap, clean copy of an Aretha record from that era, 60s, 70s, I'm going to pick it up. So, classic soul LP. Last one. This was 50 cents, and it was well worth it. It was well worth 50 cents. Average White Band. It does have, perhaps why it's 50 cents, it does have someone named Mills' name on it. I'm assuming Mills was the former owner in the 70s before me, who was like, I know someone's going to steal this album, I'm going to put my name on it, so there's no doubt. But having said that, it was 50 cents, and this is just fun music. Some days I'm in the mood for something like this. Just put it on all day and just sort of be in a silly mood. Not to discredit the musicianship, it's really, really good, and the songwriting is fun. It's not something I want to listen to every day, but I'm not going to leave this sitting there for 50 cents. And I really respect the Average White Band for their logo here. It's like they could have went with just this, or could have just went with AWB. But I think one of these guys, I don't know who, probably that guy right there, was like, you know what? A lady's booty will actually make a really good W. And I bet there was like a debate, and some of the guys were like, no, we can't do that. And eventually, the smarter powers prevailed, and we have that classic cover. Love this album, a lot of fun. So there you have it. We got the contests. Again, need to have those in by Saturday. I got my top 10 coming up by the soon. I was hoping to get it done by now, but it's gonna be soon. So anyway, I'm enjoying watching your all's videos, enjoying learning about music and going and buying that music, and just this is great. Thank you everyone who subscribes. I will see you soon.